are you like Homer Simpson? And I don't mean fat and ugly. What I mean is, do you have a neighbor that annoys you? Well, Finland has one. If you would examine the everyday life of the Finnish people, you would probably get an impression that Finland doesn't like Sweden that much. Now, to make things clear, Finland does not really hate Sweden per se. After all, we are quite similar. But from time to time, Sweden annoys the shit out of the Finnish people. To understand better the relationship between Finland and Sweden, we need to learn a little bit of history, because Sweden has had a huge role in the history of Finland. The history between Finland and Sweden began almost 1000 years ago, when Sweden decided that it was their duty as a Christian country to save their pagan neighbors by invading their land.
Congratulations, you are being rescued. Please do not resist.
Miracle 1. We need a celebration speech from our national animal, the lion. Lion of Atlas. Come on, Mr. Force, for the American viewers.
For your Moroccan viewers.
To the Club of Christ was to send people who
Do I
already
have
belonged
any?
to the club
First
to
one if
live
you're
with
from
those
Morocco.
guilty pagans. That's how the Swedish-speaking population of Finland was born. Finland was part of Sweden for a long time, but they lost Finland to Russia in the Finnish War that took place between 1808 and 1809. Losing Finland was a big loss for Sweden. In the years of Swedish rule, Finland had given Sweden resources, men for the Swedish army, and a good human shield against attacks from the east.
Some of you may die, but it's a sacrifice I am willing to make.
The Swedish people that resided in Finland formed most of the nobles in the land. They were better people than the Finnish peasants, or as they would say, bättre folk. And this image of the Swedish-speaking people in Finland, known as suomenruotsalaiset, has stuck with them throughout the years. So if you meet a person who is suomenruotsalainen, the basic assumption is that they are extremely wealthy and better than you in every way. But Sweden has also other forms of superiority when compared to Finland besides the financial one. The most obvious one would be sports, because when Finland and Sweden are competing, Finland is usually the underdog. For example, in ice hockey, Sweden has humiliated us many times. Then there are things like music, where Sweden, yet again, is arguably and without a doubt on completely another level than Finland. To add insult to injury, the Swedish language is an official language in Finland, and it is mandatory language to learn in our school system. So, there you have it. Our neighbor is much more successful than we are, and when combined with all the other reasons mentioned earlier, it is only natural that Sweden grinds our gears from time to time. And partly because of this, we like to make fun out of Sweden quite a lot.
Ulle, 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 titta, titta, Ulle.
Like every other nation, we too tell jokes about our neighbor, where we portray them as dumb or something in that nature. But when your neighbor is better than you in almost everything, this is not enough. When you are outmatched like we are, there is only one option for you. You call them gay.
Yeah, well, you're a fucking faggot. Yeah, well, I'm superior, that's all. You just gotta know it.
Every native Finn knows what I'm talking about, because in Finland, Sweden equals gay jokes have been around for decades.
Ootteks jotain niitä homoja? Siis ei sille, että mulla ois mikään niitä vastaan. Kun on mitään ruottalaisia, niin ne vasta hinttejä on.
But where do these jokes come from? Well, one could say that the Swedes were more open-minded than the Finns back in the day, since you could be legally gay in Sweden for almost 30 years earlier than in Finland. But most likely, calling the Swedes gay was some sort of jealousy or defense mechanism. Maybe it was more tolerable to be poor when you thought that the Swedes who ate good food and dressed in fancy clothes took dicks in their asses.
Gay!
But the truth is that
Every single Finn knows the phrase "Jag är bög" in Swedish, which means I am gay. Every time you talk to a Finnish person, they always say it. They always say, like, do you speak Swedish? And the first thing they say is "Jag är bög." Like, why?
these kind of jokes are getting a little bit old. And since there are all kinds of woke cultures going around, maybe we should stop making these immature jokes. But this sends us back to the start. How can we make fun out of Sweden when they are so goddamn perfect? They seem to pull bigger numbers on every metric. You could even say that these guys are on fire.
It's funny because it's true.
Alright, that was kind of a weak roast, no?